The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Friends in Recovery podcast, the podcast that is here to help you, a loved one, or a friend get started down the road to recovery. This is the Friends in Recovery podcast, brought to you by the Genesis House. Genesis House, providing a safe, nurturing environment to heal from addiction since 1992. Please be a friend and share our message with a friend on Podbean, iTunes, iHeartRadio, or YouTube. And now, here are your Friends in Recovery.
Hey, welcome everyone to the Friends in Recovery podcast, and we're broadcasting live from the Studio 21 Podcast Café, and I got to tell you, this place is heaven.
Ooh-wee.
It's beautiful here. I just had one of the best cups of coffee I've had in many years. I'm Mike Miles, also the Podfather, and Ed wanted me to mention that I was the Podfather. We're not saying that enough.
Oh, very nice.
Yep.
Well, nice to see you, Podfather.
Yep.
I'm Rich Lombardi.
And Rich, what do you do? You're the
I am the step guy.
step guy, right.
So catch me next week, and we're going to be talking about step 5.
Okay, and we are your Friends in Recovery podcast. Come get sober with us, and we can be reached at help@friendsinrecoverypodcast.com. You can call us at the 800-989-6504 number, or you can get us on friendsinrecoverypodcast.com. You can also look for us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Be sure to like us and subscribe. We would like to thank the Genesis House for sponsoring Friends in Recovery podcast, which they have been for the last 5 months. And we just got our numbers in. Did you get a copy of that?
I did not. Well, what are they looking? Good? Are they looking good?
Yeah, looking good.
All right.
Through the roof. Dave said
Awesome.
the best numbers that he's ever seen. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're growing.
We really appreciate the followers.
Growing in leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
So back to Studio 21 Podcast Cafe and our show. And today we have a guest, a young man who I've known for many years. He's a Lowell, Lowell guy, which is if you're a Lowell guy, you're kind of edgy, and you probably have been through in a few scrapes here and there. And so anyway, this is a good guy right here. This is Mike Lee, and Mike, I want to welcome you.
Nice to see you, Mike. Welcome. Thank you very much.
Mike just opened a sober house, and it's called Cow's House, Mike?
Cow's Place.
Cow's Place.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah.
About the place or me?
Yeah.
How it all
Yeah.
started?
What made you open Cow's Place? Did you just decide to do this on your own? Did you have some personal interest in this?
Yeah, well, I never thought I'd get sober, you know what I mean, first off.
Right.
And, a little over 5 years ago on St. Patrick's Day is my anniversary, ironically enough, being Irish. A close friend of mine is Mickey Ward. He was, a boxer. They made a movie on his life, and he tried to help me a lot. And he was trying to get me to go down to Florida to a treatment program. And I just got out of prison again, in jail, and I was using, and he offered to help me, and I kept putting it off, and then his sister died, and I went to the wake, and there was a ton of people in there, so I get to the line, and he's like, Mike, you ready to go? And, I didn't want to, I'm in the middle of his sister's wake, so I'm shaking his hand. And I said, no, I'm great. I get on the methadone clinic this week. And I gave him a thumbs up, and he was like, I remember he was like, no. And, 3 months later, I was calling him, begging him. And he promised me, don't worry, they have methadone there. They have a full medical staff on site. So he flew me down.
Wow.
And I get there, and they go, we have massage girls come in once a week. We have an in-ground pool, 50-inch TV in your room. I remember they were saying something about Egyptian thread count, cotton sheets. And
Nice.
I said, when do I get my methadone? And they said, yeah, we don't have methadone here.
Nice. That's awesome.
I was like in the movie, the guy screaming as the camera just pans out in the world, And So
That's awesome.
I went through it, and I don't know how I did it, but I stayed down there for about a year. And when I came back, a friend of mine was in treatment down there, and he relapsed, and we were both taking a flight home. He relapsed the night before.
Wow.
And he missed the flight. And a week later, he called me. He's like, you still mad at me? Because I was so pissed at him because he was using where I was. I saw a spoon. And
Oh, yeah.
And a couple days later, I went over another friend of mine's house. He was over there, and when I got to the door, there were police cars pulling up in an ambulance, and they were running around. I said, someone OD'd, and it was my friend Kyle. He was dead.
Jesus.
So I I thought about opening a sober house after that. I didn't know if I would even stay sober, but after 3 years, and I got custody of my daughter, it was something I really wanted to do to help other addicts, and I named the place after my friend Carl Gianelli.
It's awesome.
I'll tell you, Mike, I know your history. I know your dad. Your dad is one of the best guys I've ever met. Tom Lee is just the man. And when I was a young cop, we used to get paid on Wednesdays, and we'd go over to where he worked, and Johnny Gallagher's, and he'd cash our checks for us. Back then we made $200 a week. It wasn't a lot of money, but your old man was just one of the best guys ever, and I know how happy he must be. But I got to tell you, I've seen miracles, and we all have in this program, and you're certainly a miracle, and I mean that in the most sincere, respectful way, and to carry this even further. They say it's a selfish program, recovery, and I think it is. But I think what they mean, and you guys can chime in, is I think it's selfish for yourself. You got to take care of yourself, and then after that, then you can take care of others. Do you see that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, and it is a miracle. Any day that you're not drinking or you're not using any drugs is a miracle for an alcoholic and a drug addict, as we know. Yeah. Right? We're all in long-term recovery, and it's selfish in the beginning, but then it's about giving back in the end.
Right. And that's a good example of what you're doing. I mean, did you see it in the beginning? I mean, it's tough. It's not easy staying sober day at a time. Did you go to a lot of meetings? How'd you get 5 years of sobriety?
Oh, man, just put one foot in front of the other. And the biggest thing, like you said, it's a selfish. Well, first off, thank you for saying that stuff. But the biggest thing was, like you said, the selfish program. I broke up with a girlfriend who stuck by me through a lot of stuff. Right. But when I got back, she was like, "You think you're better than everyone? You don't hang around with your old friends." And I'm like, "They weren't my friends. Like, Mr. Lombardi, you're in prison. You know who your friends are." I do. Probably got one letter from
exactly.
You know how it is.
Exactly.
And it is a selfish program. Right. I stopped hanging around with,
those folks.
Those folks. Like, another close friend of mine is Kid Spiros Gonzakis. He's helped me immensely, too. And he's very successful. And he always says, it took me 43 years of my life to realize it. Yeah. It just seems so simple now. But you hang around successful people doing the right thing, you're going to be successful and do the right thing. You hang around with bums and junkies, you're going to be a bum and a junkie.
You hang around banks, you're going to rob a bank.
I've been down that road. I was in prison for that, too.
Yeah. Well, me too. So that's a good example, though. It's like you are who you hang with. I tell my guys in the prison all the time now, listen, you are who you hang with. Yeah. So if you're hanging around with guys that are inside and they're doing negative things and all that, they're immediately going to assume you're doing negative things, even though you're not. Right. And so you got to start to move away from that, as difficult as it is, because we all want to be liked and we all want to be wanted and we all want to be part of something. But why not look for something, be part of something that's positive? You know what I mean? And you get around that and then you become successful.
Yeah, my sponsor, Jim W., same guy, 32 years. Jim W. is a great guy. I mean, just wonderful. He always said, stick with the winners. He said things to me, I had no idea what he was talking about because I was so, my head was mush. But, stick with the winners. Meet and makers make it, and tons of meetings, tons and tons of meetings. I can honestly say that the first 5, 6, 7 years of my recovery was just nothing but meetings. You know? And I didn't get everything back. I lost a lot, but I gradually started getting things back. And the most important thing I got back was my brain. And I could make rational decisions. Tell us about Carl's place.
It took a lot longer than I thought. Right from the beginning, we had to gut out the second floor, and I built out a shed dormer. And when I first started doing it, I look back, I'm glad I did it now, but when I went to pull a permit, I said, I'm opening a sober house. And they said, all right, well, we're not going to issue the permit until you put a sprinkler system in now. And that was $14,000. I'm like, what do you mean? And I talked to the Mass Alliance for Sober Housing, and sober housing doesn't even fall under the same rules as boarding home rules. It's more of a family, so you don't need a sprinkler system. Right. But they wouldn't give me a permit to do the work, so I could have fought it. Right. And would have dragged on. So there were some obstacles, and there was a lot of stuff. But now that I got it in, there's so many sober houses popping up and unregulated ones. Exactly. I really think they're going to start tightening up on them. Sure. And so I'm ahead of the curve. And God forbid something ever did happen. Right. Exactly. I'm covered. So it was, there's a lot of work we put into it. And then finally the last few obstacles was getting certified through Mass Alliance for Sober Housing. They make you jump through a lot of hoops. And finally, just 2 weeks ago, I got that.
Awesome.
And we're ready to go now. So I just started taking a couple people this week.
How many beds?
11.
11, wow.
Including the house manager's bed, so 12.
Right. Good for you, man. It's amazing, when you think about the war on drugs, everything that's going on, all the deaths from opioids and everything. And, there's really very little help out there. People think that, the politicians talk about it. It's an election year. They'll be talking about it. Trump talked about it. Obama talked about it for 8 years. I don't see what he didn't do much. I don't know what, maybe Trump's doing a little bit more. I don't really know. But I just feel like there's a lot of talk about it. But when it comes down to it, when I sit behind my desk and I try to get someone into treatment around here, it's a freaking nightmare.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. So I applaud you. Just to even go through what you had to go through to get that, I really applaud you.
Yeah, we can't have enough beds really right now. I mean, it's just as it's getting worse. It's progressing, the disease.
Yeah.
Even out in society, it's progressing. It's getting worse, and we can't get enough beds. And I struggle with that's what I do. So I do reintegration. So I'm always looking for beds for people, and every place I call, they got a month wait, 2 months wait.
Yeah.
And a day might be too long.
I like the guys from jail that are getting out and embrace it and stuff, because it's so, like, I'm learning a lot of stuff now. A friend of mine works for Recovery Centers of America, and now it's medication-assisted treatment. Now they want everyone on Suboxone and methadone and whatever works. I'm not going to sit here and draw a line in the sand, but it's so tough now. Like, they're in there, all right, we'll put you on Klonopin and Suboxone and Neurontins, and all right, here you go, because the insurance companies, they've spent so much money, they don't want to pay for further treatment. So now they just want to get them on the Suboxone and get them out the door. And
maintenance.
Yeah, it's, it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
It doesn't work for everybody. Yeah. It's a bridge anyway. Yeah. Really, methadone and these shots, Vivitrol and all this other stuff, it's really supposed to be a bridge. Counseling, therapy, and then ultimately abstinence. Sure. You know what I mean? There's no magic cure.
Yeah, the Vivitrol is good. But so a lot of people, they can't get off it.
And sometimes I think like the society or these other folks, they think like there's a magic cure to this thing. This is like a lot of work, right?
What is work?
It's a lot of work, right? You got to put some time in. Counseling, therapy, AA, meetings, whatever it takes. I was just talking to someone earlier about, now wellness, massage, acupuncture.
You did that at the treatment center I was in.
Yeah, all those type of things now are being incorporated also, which are good things.
Sure, holistic, and it should have been done years ago because, this quick fix with the methadone. I know a lady, 19 years on methadone, 19 years of raising a son, and a wonderful lady too, a great mother, and just afraid to let go. And I've said to her many times, could you try without it? Could you just try to step away? Have you ever tried to step away? And she said, no, I'm too afraid. And to me, that's kind of a shame because
tough.
Yeah, I really believe, I know some addicts that have gotten sober and been sober for a long period of time. And they go to meetings and they go to counseling, but it shouldn't be a life sentence, like another, you're swapping one drug for another. Although I believe Vivitrol, like you said, has its place. And there are some wonderful doctors out there. Dr. O'Connor out in Chelmsford, guy works his tail off to help people, But I really think anybody that's going to step into the realm of this disease and try to offer like a sober house is just somebody that's really, committed, dedicated, and definitely somebody that's looking to help somebody. And it's not easy, especially in Massachusetts. You found out jumping through hoops, all the variances and the permits. It's got to be tough.
Yeah, a lot of people say, oh, you're going to make a killing. That's a money maker. Yeah. Honest to God, that's not why I get into it. It's really
I hope you do make
people.
some money. You deserve it.
Yeah, and if you're helping people and you make money, like I said, whenever someone says that, I go, it's a win-win. If that's the case, and I do. But like I said, I started running to this. Everybody they're putting everyone on. And I think it's a shame for a young kid, 20. I always thought methadone, like this is what I said. When my last detox was the methadone clinic, and I always said the same thing. If I'm 40 years old, still getting locked up, still shooting dope, I used to say I'm going to walk in the methadone clinic with a white flag and just give me my cane, pull all my teeth. Because everyone you see down there, they all get canes. They're like 25 years old. They're walking around with canes.
The hurricanes, right. Get the good one. Hey, we're going to be taking a break in a minute. Can you give the name again of your sober house, the phone number, and your name again too, Mike?
It's Carl's Place in Lowell, Massachusetts, and the number is 978-328-4051. My name's Mike Lee.
All right, with phone number one more time.
978-328-4051.
Super. Yeah. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Friends in Recovery podcast live from the Studio 21 Podcast Café. Be back with you in a moment.
and check out the Don't Do It Yourself podcast. The Don't Do It Yourself podcast is a weekly podcast where Tommy Two Shoes and No Nonsense Nance sit down with a different specialist every week. If you're tired of unvetted and uninsured contractors charging too much money for not enough quality, you need to check out the Don't Do It Yourself podcast, the Contractors Referral Program. The Don't Do It Yourself podcast is live on YouTube every Thursday morning at 11 a.m. or on demand on iTunes, Podbean, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast catcher. Put that hammer down and don't do it yourself. Genesis House is a premier substance abuse and rehabilitation facility located in beautiful Palm Beach County, Florida. We have been providing the highest quality of addiction treatment since 1992 and are accredited by the Joint Commission. We offer a range of programs that include detox, residential treatment, dual diagnosis, a Christian track for people who want to incorporate their faith into treatment, a uniform services track, and we work with most major insurance carriers. Genesis House is led by a dedicated team of administrative and clinical professionals, and we stand on our commitment to excellence in recovery services. Contact us today to find out more about our program. Take the first step and call Genesis House at 800-737-0933 or visit us on the web at www.genesishouse.net. That's 800-737-0933 or www.genesishouse.net. Begin your journey to a long and successful recovery with Genesis House.
Soul Sessions is an intuitive life coaching service that provides a safe place for everyone to get the guidance they are seeking. Intuitive life coach Shanti Syncere Slade uses her powerful gifts of empathy, spiritual connection, intuition, human experience, and conscious listening to provide a safe place to evolve and shed light on the truth of who we all are, brilliant divine beings. Remembering ourselves as spiritual beings helps us to navigate through the human experience with more gratitude and ease. For more information or to book a free 30-minute telephonic consultation, please visit our website at www.soulsessions.com. That's www.SOEL for Seeing Ourselves Evolve Lovingly, sessions with an S.com. We can all use a little guidance.
Richie Lombardi, the Step Guy, joins us once a month on the second Tuesday, where we plan to get in-depth with each of the 12 steps to recovery. Come get sober with the Friends in Recovery podcast and Rich, the Step Guy, Lombardi. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast to get this and every episode each and every week.
Welcome to the Time Takes Time portion of our show. Sponsored by the Genesis House. This is where we ask our friends in recovery to email us your sober anniversaries so we can celebrate them with you. Congratulations to the following. Give me a minute here. Sorry. I should have been more on target. I'm a little slow today. It's warm here in the
Time
show.
takes time.
Takes time. Yes, exactly.
It takes time.
Yeah.
You know we're alive now.
Well, listen, the good news is it's a day at a time. So I'd like to say hi to Tom P. from Spokane, Washington, 9 years of recovery.
Nice.
Crystal J. out of San Diego, California, 30 days. God bless you. This Mike A. out of Los Angeles, California, 5 years. Willie B. Burlington, Vermont, 3 years. Dave Day, Savannah. From Savannah, Georgia, 10 years. And I'd like to give a good shout out to my friend Peter M., who just celebrated 29 years. Congratulations to all those who are celebrating their anniversaries. And if you'd like to celebrate your anniversary with us, please email us first name, last initial, city and state, and anniversary date to help@friendsinrecoverypodcast.com. Once again, that's help@friendsinrecoverypodcast.com. Remember, time takes time. Sponsored by the Genesis House. And listen for your name in our upcoming shows.
Nice job. Good job.
With
Thank
that,
you.
I guess we'll go right to our sincere moment.
And now it's
the
time
sincere.
for a sincere moment with Shanti Syncere Slade. Brought to you by Soul Sessions.
Peace and positive energy, beautiful souls. I am your soul coach and intuitive life coach, Shanti Syncere Slade. Welcome to a Syncere Moment. Today I want to talk to you about accountability. Checking your own vibration. Who pissed you off today? Whose fault is it that you didn't get that job, you didn't get that girl, you didn't get that guy, or who didn't let you over in the lane? Who pissed you off? Who made your life so miserable today? Well, if you understand yourself as a co-creator, then you know that anything that's happening on the outside of you is an indication of what's active in your own vibration. So instead of being pissed off, take that as an opportunity to check yourself. Remember, your vibe attracts your tribe, right? So it's nobody else's fault that you feel the way you feel, because how you feel is always a choice. Once you bring awareness to how you feel, you can always shift the energy by starting off with gratitude for the breath of life, focusing on beauty, focusing on those things that we take for granted, okay? So it's nobody's fault that you feel like shit. You just have to be accountable for what's going on in your own vibration. This is a Syncere Moment with Shanti Syncere Slade. I love you guys. Peace.
Well,
yeah, we love you
too. She does a great
Shanti.
job.
Yes.
Hey, welcome back to Friends in Recovery Podcast. We're live from Studio 21 Podcast Café, and we have a special guest today. We have Tae Kang. And Tae, welcome.
Thank you.
Mike Miles.
TK, nice to see you. Thank you for coming.
So, Tae, you brought some flyers here.
Yes,
and,
I did.
I've been looking at them, and I see this guy doing push-ups with all these muscles. I guess that's you, right?
That's me.
You are a fine specimen of a man, I gotta say.
Oh, Jesus. Take it easy now. Take it easy.
I'm not taking my shirt off.
Hey.
I'm just telling you.
Please, no. Thank you.
This is like the before and after.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Me and Rich are the before.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you got going here, because this is good stuff.
Yeah.
So my name is Tae Kang. I'm holding a fundraiser for Stop Soldier Suicide.
Right.
Awesome.
Okay. It's in Windham, New Hampshire. Okay. It's all about empowering the military community for life. Okay, I don't know if you know, there's 22 veterans committing suicides, active and non-active, every single day, which is really sad news.
Yeah.
A lot of people do not understand, how many people are affected by the PTSD. And
Absolutely.
it just amazes to me that, and more I do research, more I've done this, it's more I want to do this for them.
Yeah, nice.
I own a business. I've told everybody I'm not gonna mention my business, because this is not about mentioning business.
Yep.
Okay. It's all about the veterans, all about the people who are going through. And you guys are talking about, the last segment I just saw was like you guys are talking about like people, recovery people.
Yeah.
Some of these are one of them.
Yes, they are.
People coming from, they can't cope with the PTSD, though they're on drugs.
Sure. Yeah.
And they really don't have that much help. And Stop Soldier Suicide is actually the organization. They're a great organization. They do a lot of stuff. They even do one-on-one counseling with those guys to set them in the right places.
Yeah.
And nobody really knows about them.
Right.
So that's why I'm here to aware the awareness of the Stop Soldier Suicide organization. And again, I own a company, but it's nothing about this event. Is nothing about the company. It's nothing about who I am. It's about them. That day is all about them. We're gonna have a cookout that day. Okay, all the donations, all the proceeds is going directly to them.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
So it's a charity, non-profit charity event. Okay, it's at the, I hate to say it, but I have to mention now where we're gonna hold
Well, I
it.
hope you do.
That's okay. Yeah.
So
It's people need to know where it is.
Yeah, exactly. Fortunately.
Don't be so humble. Don't be so humble.
Yeah. It's okay.
So it's at 63 Ranger Road in Windham, New Hampshire.
There you go.
It's called Massage Chi Holistic Fitness Center. We are actually closed I'm closing the whole building down. Right. No tenants are able to run business that day. We're going to shut everything down.
Nice.
It's going to be $5 entry fee, but you get to have a cookout, fun events. You get to do everything. Like we're going to have a push-up contest, battle rope contest. I'm ordering this like $3,000 tank that you can push you around.
Oh, nice.
So it's I'm spending a lot of money for this event to make it happen. This is my first event for this. I'm hoping I could do it almost every year. To create this awareness for in this area. Least I could do for these volunteers. I mean, these young kids are volunteering to go save our lives. This is what we could do. I mean, look at us. Yeah. We could have podcasting. We could have, the businesses. We could have all this because they're protecting us from the harm's way from everywhere else.
No question.
And they come back here and guess what?
Right.
I don't feel like they're getting treated right.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Not a lot of benefits. Being a veteran, I'll toot my own horn a little bit. I joined the service right out of high school many, many years ago, 1972. I spent 3 years in the Army, and it directed me, and it really molded my life as to what I wanted to be. And being a veteran, I'm proud to be a veteran. I'm proud to live in this country. I'm proud of a lot of things. I understand people's concerns, but I think anybody that commits 3-4 more years of their lives to go in harm's way and come back with missing limbs, with PTSD, which is so prevalent with our soldiers. What you said about 22 veterans daily committing suicide, and then there's other veterans that probably died from diseases, alcoholism, drug addiction, that died because of not getting the help. I applaud you, and you are a very humble man, and I can tell. Maybe it's your culture, maybe it's just you as an individual, but I think it's amazing what you're doing. And the event is July 15th. Mm-hmm. 1 to 3.
1 to 3.
You had me at cookout, to be
honest.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have my mother's cooking Korean food barbecue. That's gonna be awesome. So they're gonna be traditional hot dogs and vegetarian burgers.
Kimchi,
I guess.
Maybe a little kimchi.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
good. Yeah.
So you get to see me bust my shoulders that day.
How many push-ups can you do?
Well, I could do lot of push-ups.
Yeah, I bet you can.
But the event is actually, I'm hoping there's a world record for 60-pound bag on your back.
Come on.
Okay.
Wow.
So the soldiers carry about 40, 50 pounds on their back.
Yeah.
And so what is going on is we're going to be I'm going to be doing 57 is the record for 1 minute. So you have to do 57 in 1 minute. Right. For that, 60 pounds on your back. And
I think I'm having a heart attack
now. Mike Miles, how many push-ups can you do?
Right now, I could probably do 40. Yeah, I mean,
I could do about 57 in 57 years.
As long as it was a cookout afterwards. It's going to be a cookout. There's going to be a goal for me.
You get to try the ones I practice with. I even practice with 120 pounds.
Oh, so my God.
Yeah.
So now I could, it's every one I beat it by. So when I do 57, I got 1 minute to do. My goal is to beat the record in between 30 seconds to 32 seconds to 57.
Wow.
So I'm going to take a 10-second rest. And everyone that I count by, I'm going to have the DJ actually count 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Nice.
And every $1, I'm going to get 5-gallon buckets.
Nice.
So everyone to pitch in $1 in the bucket for everything I break it by.
And you're going to do, you're going to have, looks like you're going to have chances to win some prizes.
Oh, yeah.
Looks
We're
like.
going to have free, I'm going to give away free massages that day. We're going to have free chair massages going that day.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
Yeah. Come down and get a massage.
Yep, free chair massage. They're professional licensed therapists. They're my staff.
I love this.
Okay, we're gonna be not wearing any uniforms. No one's gonna advertise anything with uniforms.
Right.
They just sent me Stop Soldiers. Just sent me. I bought it from them. This shirt right here. They're gonna have it in white. Stop Soldiers Suicide.
We're gonna be selling some of those.
We're not selling those, but we're gonna be wearing them.
Okay,
but if you want them,
we
could take the donation is $20.
Yep.
I could order a bunch of them for them.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So we'll take an order list, and if that's what you guys want to do.
It's a great thing.
But again, we're gonna have I'm hoping that chair massages, people give little tips to tips will go to the donation.
Right.
Every event that they want to try to win free massage would be $1 to get into.
Right.
So every event
you're gonna raise some money. That's great.
That's all I want to do. That's one. This is all about making sure that these guys get enough money to get help. That's really all I really want.
And so, do you got a phone number that they can reach you on a website, or someone they can contact you?
Just right here. If you see that right there, it's a poster. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta. They don't really watch. You got to give them the numbers.
Here we go. The www.massagecenter.com is where you could reach us. You can send me an email directly to there, and I can tell you a little bit about the events.
Yeah, exactly.
And then phone number you could reach at the office is 603-458-7247. Ask for me, Tae Kang, the owner, and tell them, because I get a lot of junk calls.
Stop soldier suicide.
So make sure that you're talking about the Stop Soldier Suicide.
And Tae, give them the phone number one more time.
Sure. It's 603-458-7247.
Now, you having some soldiers come down?
Yes, I have a lot of people. In fact, the 2 judges are actually ex-military, so they're going to be there.
Good.
But I do want to mention a friend of mine who came from Florida. He's actually he is kind of like a head trainer for Florida Police. And he's a cousin who's Edma Vasquez. I just want to mention her name.
Yeah.
She came in and she had PTSD and she committed suicide and she was in her 20s. You know, that's
young veteran.
Yeah. She was in the duty and she took up in a truck and it blown up and she came back, you know, with the stitches and you know everything else. And I just ran to another guy, which I feel bad. He was a Marine. He's one of those Marines that go into services, and you know, he came back. He was blown in pieces, and he's a nightmare. He had nightmares almost every single day. But now he just found out he's had terminal cancer. So you know, and I just ran into him. You know, he was one of my clients. So I feel bad for him too. You know what I mean? So there's so many things that you know. It's really sad that these guys are volunteering. They're not even. You know, we don't have no more draft, right?
Right.
So. These kids are volunteering to go to do this and watching these things happen to protect us.
That's right.
Can you imagine that? I mean, I can't stand that. Every time somebody goes somewhere, like to say they're going to go to military and train to baseball game, I'm like, oh my God, thank you. You know, it's just
the young people today, they don't know how fortunate they are that there's no draft anymore. Because back in the day when we were growing up, there was a draft.
Right.
And then they abolished that draft, but you could still sign up. I remember myself, I know when I turned 18, my grandmother, there was only 2 things she asked me to do in life, and that I would be the perfect grandson, was to vote and to sign up for the military.
Absolutely. I wish, honestly, I came here and I signed up for, military. You know what I mean? I wish I went in to serve, because I'm kind of jealous that I couldn't help this country. You know what I mean? So that's one of the
you're helping them now.
Yeah, you're helping them now.
This is the way I want to help out.
Don't sell yourself short because,
exactly.
It's easy to talk about, helping people and they say, gee, they should get help. The government should help. Right. But when somebody takes the time, puts their own money, which you were explaining the expenses to me earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, you're deep into this. I belong to a group called VAV, Veterans Assistant Veterans, and it's all retired veterans or veterans of different wars.
I would love to have them there.
I'm going to speak to them. I'm going to send out an email when I leave. And, that's what we do. We find veterans that are in need of housing. They're in need of refrigerators, TVs, rides to the hospital, whatever. And I have a bunch of guys, great guys, and this is what we do. And, 100% of whatever we raise goes to Veterans Assistant Veterans. Yeah, so, I mean, this is near and dear to my heart and close to my heart. Less than 1% of the population serve in the military.
Yeah.
And 22 people die in a day, 22 veterans. You break that down to how many people actually.
Big numbers.
Big numbers, right. Yeah. It's really scary. And I got to applaud you and shake your hand, honestly. You're doing unbelievable work. So the 1-603-458-7247 and www.massagechi center. That's MASSAGECHI center.com.
And that's July 15th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
At 63 Range Road in Windham, New Hampshire, which is a beautiful location.
Yep.
You have a great location there. You're going to have a lot of I'll be there. I'm going to definitely stop by. And you said cookout, so I'll be there.
But
I'll count the cookout.
So we're actually going to have there's a flag going up. So we're going to raise a flag. There's going to be one of my members actually singing the national anthem.
Oh, super!
So it's going to be all out. We want to honor our veterans.
Wear your red, white, and blue.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
That'd be great.
Especially with the 4th of July.
Absolutely,
right?
red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to mention to everybody, it's always my motto in every. Guys know I'm a fitness trainer and everything else.
Right.
So I tell this is perfect thing for where I teach my clients and everything else, because some of my clients are 70, 80 years old, have terminal cancers and so forth. And I always say the same thing: never give up, never give in.
Right.
Okay, life means a lot.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, there was a great. During World War II, the Winston Churchill. That was one of his lines, and I mean it's a very basic thing, but he said, "Never, never, ever give up." And England almost they were brought to their knees during the Blitzkrieg, and luckily
they didn't give up.
No, they didn't, and with the help of our country. No, just real quick. Were you born in Korea?
I was born in Korea.
South or North?
That's a silly question.
You're the best.
South. I was born in Seoul, and then I took since I was young, I was taken into gratefully into martial arts, taking on the world and learning the body mechanics and I became one of the youngest 4th degree black belt in the in the country, actually.
Wow, that's
I was,
I knew you and I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that
I
about
was
you.
11 years old when I became fourth degree black.
Wow,
belt.
11?
Yeah.
Don't mess with him.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, no.
so I'm not. Right now, I'm teaching. One of the things we teach is that how to self-defend yourself, and that's one of the. I don't teach you traditional martial arts because that's not what I want to be. I want able to handle yourself if something happens to you.
Protect yourself.
Nowadays, you never know what could happen.
Yeah.
So you want to
A lot of violence out there. A lot of
just a
stuff.
few minutes
Yeah.
ago in Methuen, remember that few weeks ago? I mean, that's. I don't want one of my clients to ever. That would be really. I feel bad. If that
traumatic.
happens.
Absolutely.
So.
Well, listen, what a great guest you were. I'm so glad you popped in today.
Thank you.
This was all on the fly.
Awesome. Thank you very much for
you're
having
so welcome.
me. Wow.
Well, that's it for today's show. We are your Friends in Recovery, broadcasting live from the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. Thank you, Sean. Thank you,
Sean,
Ed.
thank you.
Sean.
Thank
That
you,
was
Ed
awesome.
Sullivan,
Tay.
our great
thank you,
producer.
guys.
Mike.
Don't forget, you can reach us at help@friendsinrecoverypodcast.com, or you can call us at 1-800-989-6504. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Be sure to like us and subscribe. Come get sober with us, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.